Welcome to the weekly Health RX by Arvasi. I'm Dr. Avanti Kumar-Singh.
And I'm Dr. Tanmeet Sethi. We're physicians trained in modern medicine and experts in Ayurveda. And each Sunday, we cut through the noise with physician-led, science-backed prescriptions personalized to your biology.
From your hormones and gut to your circadian rhythm and nervous system, we'll help you take care of the systems that matter most so you can stop guessing and start feeling better. Finally, medicine that fits you. Hello and welcome. This is your weekly Health RX for the week of December 8th. I'm Dr. Avanti Kumar-Singh.
And I'm Dr. Tanmeet Sethi.
So here we are, December. We're 2 months into fall, and October and November are behind us. 2 months of Vata season, which has been really cold and dry, windy, lots of erratic energy everywhere. And your digestion, well, it's kind of mirroring what's going on in nature, right? The morning routines that you built back in October, then you have the Thanksgiving feast, the holiday parties that started after Halloween and haven't stopped since. And so you can now really feel it in your digestion, that sort of heaviness, that things aren't maybe moving through like they should. You might be bloated a lot. Your elimination might be totally unpredictable. And then you add on top of that the hormonal changes of perimenopause or menopause, and that also slows your digestion. So all of this is really just being carried in your digestion, in your gut. And here's the thing, you have 3 more weeks of December, more parties, more rich foods, more disruptive schedules, but you've got to do something now about your digestion because otherwise it's just going to lead to more chaos. And the truth is you can't do some restrictive cleanse right now because that's just not what life is like, right? You have a life to live. But there are some things that you can do, and that's what we want to talk to you about today.
Yeah. And I mean, this really resonates for me, Avanti. I don't know about you, but every December, I start to feel that heaviness that's accumulated through the season.
Yeah. I mean, I feel it right after Thanksgiving. I feel like, you know, for us, anyway, in my house, I have my daughter's birthday, we have Diwali, and then we have Thanksgiving. And by the time Thanksgiving is over, I've had these like 3 sort of holidays. My gut, my digestion is just like, oh, give me some rest. I can't take it, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, the research actually shows us that that happens because in studies about really telling us about seasonal impact on digestion, when we look at winter and digestion, this colder late fall, early winter time, we see in studies that gut transit time is slower, that it takes longer for food to move through. And in fact, it's slower by 15 to 20% compared to summer. And, you know, it makes sense if you think about the physiology because cold weather is triggering our body to conserve energy. Blood flow is prioritized over digestive function. We have to keep our core temperature warm. So our gut is literally slowing down. And there's even research in the American Journal of Gastroenterology that shows December has the highest rates of constipation and bloating of any month. And, you know, combine the richer foods, not moving so much, disrupted routines, and, you know, the accumulated stress and heaviness of fall goes into that. And then you add the hormones, like you said. So then studies show us as well that in perimenopause and menopause, that declining estrogen impacts our gut motility. We've talked about that numerous times, how food moves slower through our system. And we've talked as well about that estrobolome, right? Those gut bacteria that help metabolize estrogen. They become less efficient when that transit time slows down. So we're in this vicious cycle then. Slow digestion disrupts hormone clearance, and that disrupted hormone clearance further slows digestion.
Right, exactly. And so, you know, that's kind of the paradox here in December, right? It's really when you need the most digestive power because of all these parties and the foods and the alcohol and all that stuff. But it's also when you have the least digestive power, right? Because you also have 2 months of accumulated stress, this cold weather, the hormonal changes. And so we want to talk to you a little bit about a really great prescription. Now, one thing that you should remember is that, you know, this is Vata season, and this is the 3rd month of Vata season with respect to the fall season. And so, October was all about, sort of transitioning from summer to fall. Then November was really about dealing with the peak and sort of trying to keep some balance. And now December is really about making sure that any excess of those accumulated qualities, that we are able to release those, to clear those. And so that's what we really want to focus on this month, is clearing the excess that we're carrying so that we don't carry it into the winter and then it causes more problems, right? So that's just a little bit of background as to why we're talking about this.
Exactly. So our prescription this week for you is some warm CCFT therapy. Now, if you remember CCFT, we've talked about it before, is cumin, coriander, fennel. So we're talking about combining all three of those seeds and making a tea. And we want you to think about doing this first thing in the morning, drinking 1 cup of warm CCFT. And so it's really simple because it's equal parts. So if you do 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds, 1 teaspoon of coriander seeds, 1 teaspoon of fennel seeds, that's the prescription, equal parts of each seed. And then again, before lunch and dinner, another cup of that CCFT. Now, remember, in November, we talked about this tea when we were talking about supporting digestion through the big holiday meals. But this week, we're using it in a different way to clear what's already accumulated. So there's science to really back up why this can be so helpful. I mean, why warm water and specific herbs really can help. There's studies in the European Journal of Gastroenterology that found that drinking warm water at a comfortable tea temperature improved bowel movement frequency by 58% within 1 week. I mean, that's pretty good. And CCFT has actually been studied as well because these 3 seeds together improve digestive enzyme secretion, reduce bloating, and speed up that gut transit time. So they each have a role in that. Cumin stimulating the pancreatic enzymes, corianders reducing inflammation, and fennels relieving the gas and bloating. So together, they're like a reset button.
Yeah, I mean, true spice medicine that we always talk about, right? It's pretty incredible.
Right. So definitely spice medicine. And the warm water is also really critical. Like I said, it does 3 other critical things. It rehydrates the intestinal walls, stimulates digestive enzymes, and it improves that peristalsis, the movement of the gut, that motility that moves the food through. So together, the spices and the warm water really address every aspect of that December accumulated heaviness, that dryness, stagnation, the inflammation. They come together to really relieve all of that. All right. So Avanti, do you want to tell them how to make the tea?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've actually talked about this before, but again, it's the blend of the tea is just equal parts of cumin seeds, coriander seeds, and fennel seeds. You just want to mix them together. And remember, these are seeds. You don't want them to be ground spices, okay? And, you can make this in a batch, make a bunch of it, store it in an airtight glass jar, and it'll stay fresh. I just have a jar of this on my counter, so it's really easy to just, scoop out 1 scoop and put it into water. So you're going to take 1 teaspoon of that CCF blend and throw it into 1 to 2 cups of hot water, steep it for about 5 minutes, strain, and that's it. And then you're just going to drink it, okay? It's really important that, you make it fresh in the morning. I actually will make a couple of cups in the morning, maybe 4 or 5 cups with 4 or 5 teaspoons. And then I strain it and I actually keep it in a thermos so that it stays warm throughout the day. The important thing is you don't want to keep reheating it because that's when you can, sort of alter the composition of the tea. The volatile oils that are in there are most powerful when they're fresh and they're staying in there. So you don't want to keep reheating. So again, make it once in the morning, put it in a thermos, and then drink it all day. So now the timing, as Tanmeet already mentioned, is that you want to have your first cup first thing in the morning when you wake up, a warm cup of CCF tea before you have your coffee or anything else. Then you want to have a cup before lunch, maybe 15 to 30 minutes before you eat. And then again before dinner, maybe again 15 to 30 minutes before you eat. And then you can also sip this throughout the day whenever you feel a little bloated or heavy. I actually love the taste of this tea. So again, I keep it in a thermos. It's got this kind of nutty flavor that I find very soothing. So I like to just have it all day. And what you're going to notice is that slowly over the course of the week, and again, after you do this for a few weeks, you'll notice that your morning elimination is a little bit easier. You have less straining, it's a little more complete. You'll find that you have less bloating, especially after meals. You'll feel a little less heavy, right? And you feel kind of like the food is actually moving through. And one other really interesting thing is that if you look at your tongue, the coating on there will start to go away. Accumulation on the tongue in Ayurveda is a sign that you have toxin buildup. So you will actually see the coating of your tongue change as you start to clear these toxins. So I know it's kind of gross, but it's really interesting and it actually shows what's happening on the inside. So again, I love to make a big jar of this CCF1 and just leave it on my counter.
Yeah. And you can bring it anywhere. And especially because it's December, I'm not kidding. This is the perfect little hostess gift for parties. Is to really just make a really pretty ribbon jar of this tea and give it to someone, and maybe even write on top of it on the card, may you digest well, or, it sounds funny, but in Spain, they often say buen provecho before they eat, which really means may you digest well. And so really it's a hope we all have. So especially during the holidays. So think about, giving it. It's just such a unique, awesome gift to give people.
Yeah, and I've actually done that before. And because CCFT works for all doshas and really helps everyone's digestion, it's a great gift for anybody. Like you don't have to worry about that. So again, it's a baseline clearing practice to have the CCFT in the morning and then 15 to 30 minutes before lunch and dinner. Now, here's the thing that you should also know that yes, CCFT works for everybody to help their digestion. But here's what's really important to know is that each constitution, each dosha can also benefit from a slightly different approach with the CCFT. Maybe it's a different temperature of the water. Maybe it's a different addition that will boost sort of the effect of that CCFT. And so your dosha really determines whether you need maybe a little more lubrication or more cooling or more stimulation to clear this accumulation that's happening in December.
Right. And if you haven't taken the dosha data assessment, now's the time, because the December accumulation is real and you can really amplify this practice for your individual constitution. So go to myarvasi.com. It only takes about 5 to 7 minutes and you can get your personalized weekly Health RX in your own private podcast feed. And if you're already listening to your personalized dosha feed, then perfect. You're in the right place, because now we're going to talk about what this looks like specifically for you and your dosha.
Thanks for listening to the Weekly Health RX by Arvasi. Be sure to subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen so you never miss your weekly prescription.
And make sure to take the Arvasi Dosha Data Assessment at myarvasi.com, linked in the show notes, so you can unlock your biology and get your own personalized weekly prescription.